Okay, our subject is difficulty, and I'm going to welcome people bringing up poems they think are good examples of difficulty, pro or con. As some of you know, I am pro difficulty. At its best, it can be a lot of fun. I'll start just as a way to get us going. How many people here knew that Michelangelo sonnet about how difficult it was painting the Sistine Chapel in Gail Mazur's translation, where he ends by saying, "I am not a painter." Do I get credit for introducing you to that?
Yes.
That's great, Mike. And I'm assuming that it was fun to read. Anything else about it?
I think it's interesting that in the book you have that paired with the "Why I'm Not a Painter" by Frank O'Hara.
Yeah.
I really like that poem. The idea that I thought was really cool in the poem that relates to this is that it's all sort of in the negative. It's like, why I'm not a painter.
Yes.
He says...
And Mike Goldberg takes out sardines.
Yeah, he takes out the sardines and he says, like, I'm writing about orange. Pretty soon it's a whole page. But then, like, I finished, it's 12 poems, I call it Oranges, but I haven't mentioned orange yet.
Yeah, so that the word no and not really plays a tremendous role.
Yeah, and that just sort of the idea that to make a really great poem or piece of art, you don't just go straight for what you're shooting at. You actually sort of want to see it from all the different angles that aren't exactly what you're looking for, like the oranges.
Possibly for the writer as for the reader, for the artist as well as the person who looks at the painting.
Sure, yeah.
A lot of the fun is in the negative, difficult, frustrating part.
Right.
And I'm not a painter. I've tried, presumably, and I just can't paint well enough. And the course of pleasure, the course of art, the course of a life is not, to use Micah's gesture, it's not straight.
Yeah.
It often is very circuitous and involves a lot of no, not that, no, not that. Most thinking involves no, not that, no, not that.
I think with the Michelangelo poem, what struck me most, and I think what you allude to also, is the performance of humility that occurs at the end,
Well put, Elizabeth.
which is different than
I'm not a painter.
than O'Hara's poem, I think, where he really is grappling with a more authentic humility. I think in Michelangelo's poem, there's sort of a false humility that he's putting forth that is its own sort of pride, I think, in a way.
I'm not sure I agree with that, because I know it's possible to be really good at something and not enjoy it. And to complain about it, and other people say, oh, but you're great at this, you should be doing it. And no, you don't enjoy it. And maybe you don't meet your standards either.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't feel like Michelangelo enjoys this process. A lot of what I read into the poem is his physical pain while creating this beautiful thing, which was very meta difficult for me, because I see, for example, with Elizabeth Bishop, she has these beautiful poems, and then you go back, I didn't realize that she goes through draft after draft and just scratches so much.
In her case, leaving holes where she can't think of a word for a year or two.
Perfectly.
The way I interpret what Elizabeth said in response to your disagreement is, in both cases, it's using your ordinary social skills. You know when somebody is posing as humble, you know when they're complaining about their physical difficulty, and you may not enjoy the contorted position you're in to get a piece of work done, but you enjoy telling your friends that it's hell.
That's true.
In fact, I'm going to enjoy writing a double sonnet, which is in Italian. I'm going to write a beautifully written, metrical composed double sonnet. It's like calling up your friend and saying, you think you had a hard day? Listen to this. And we hear that in the friend's voice. I think sometimes when people read poetry, they inadvertently abandon all their social skills. All the ways you can hear when somebody is half kidding, when somebody isn't as confident as they're pretending to be, and all of that we've used all our life, not only in conversation, but in reading a newspaper piece, in reading a business memo. Say, this is just boilerplate, this is bullshit, this part, but I think that he actually means that. Those same skills are part of writing and reading poems.